These are gonna get with anyway.
Currently at Liberty University for our tournament on their field hockey field. It's raining and it's cold, so here we go. So my last vlog ended in in the middle of this tournament is when I uploaded it. So you're seeing kind of the rest of how that tournament went. It went kind of awfully. It was rainy and wet and cold and windy, and all the games got like forfeited and canceled on the first day, and the second day was not much better. And yeah, like the tournament went terribly, but I actually had a lot of fun. I kind of talked about how, I was missing home and whatnot, but I wanted to focus on just having fun with the people there. So that's kind of what the weekend turned into, was just a great hangout with all my teammates and friends. And so I ended up having a lot of fun, and then we did get to play a bit on Sunday. So, yeah. We just ran across the freeway to get back to our hotel. It was muddy.
John with Elite Comms. He knew when to go.
He's Mexican. No.
Okay. Yeah, this week I got a tattoo that I've wanted to get for a really long time. This is a tattoo I've been thinking of getting for a while, and I finally just got enough money that I figured it was worth it to get it. Yeah, it initially was going to be much smaller, but the more I thought about how much I wanted this tattoo, and the more I was working with the tattoo artist and whatnot, I realized like I kind of want to just go all the way and spend a few extra $100 to make sure that it's something I really want, which is probably a smart move when it comes to a tattoo. So it's not fully done yet. I'm gonna have to go get it redone, or like finished in a few weeks. So I guess there'll be an update about that in one of the next videos. I got an order. Gosh. Burp for the vlog. Whew. So last weekend was the mechanics preseason / final tryout that I was invited to. And it went really well, I thought. I had a great weekend hanging out with the mechanics team and practicing. And from that weekend, I have some really great news, which is that I got offered a developmental spot on their roster for the next year. So for the mechanics, there is no such thing as a practice squad. And the point of that is that the players that are kind of invited to this developmental team are not asked to just practice against the team and to just get beat up on and to maybe next year they'll make it. But kind of organizationally, the whole point is that they're going to put effort and time and energy into this developmental team to make them rostered players within the next year. And also, like they say, the team has said and the coach has said that like these developmental players that at any point in time can earn a roster spot from a roster player who's not performing well enough. And so, this news is really amazing. It's, everything I hoped for when I was coming up here. And what makes the news even sweeter is that there are still a few roster spots left. And the coach said to me, like, hey, like I want you to know that we're giving you a developmental spot, but also like those last few spots are still open and you should still work for them. And so that's like a great spot to be in, where I, on one hand, have the safety of knowing like, okay, I've made it at least that far, but also like I still have this goal ahead of me to push for and get for. And the coach kind of expressed that like they want to do everything they can to get me to debut this year. And so, I'm with them on that. I want to make my rookie season debut this year in the UFA. And so I'm really excited. The learning that, knowing that changes a bunch of things for me in a good way. It lets me know that I'm going to be staying at Davenport for another year. The developmental roster spot is kind of a 2-year commitment. Well, not kind of, but it is. And so, if I'm going to be here for 2 summers, like I might as well spend my next year here as well. And so that means that I'm going to be here in Grand Rapids for the next 2 years or so, playing for the mechanics and for Davenport. So that's really exciting because I was kind of on the fence as to whether or not I wanted to stay, but, getting the spot kind of makes my decision for me, which is really nice. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do this summer and like for housing and whatnot, and like what I want to do for next year. But those are all problems for later. So, yeah, I just wanted to give out that news, say that I'm super excited. It's really nice to, it's really nice to have some like something to show. Like I kind of came up here on a gamble. I knew I was kind of good at Frisbee. I didn't know how good. And so the only thing that was really keeping me going up until this point was just my own belief in myself. And to be in a spot where I now have a proof of that skill, and I have people, a team, a coach, teammates who are buying into me and believing in me and saying like, we can develop you into being a professional player. Like that feels amazing, that it's no longer just, it doesn't feel like a hope and a whim anymore, like it has felt for a while. It feels like I'm here and I can earn it and I can do it. And I have this team to support me, and so it's amazing. I'm super excited. It does mean that I'll be here all summer, so I'll probably work full-time at Wendy's while I do all the mechanic stuff, which means no Camp War Eagle this summer. So that really sucks. But regardless, super excited to get started on that. So part of being the mechanics team and part of being a professional athlete means that I get access to just a bunch of different things, whether that's like the workout plans and stuff, and also just like different sponsored things that are available through the mechanics. And they already gave me something at the first weekend at the tryout. They gave us these things. They look a little funky and they look even weirder when they're in your mouth. But this thing is like it's a breath trainer. So this thing like opens and closes like a valve, and it makes it like harder or easier to breathe in. And so this was something that was given to us by one of the mechanic sponsors. I'll not try and link that. I'll definitely link that in the video because that's my job. But at first when I got this, I was a little like, does this work? What does this do? But after a little bit of research, and having tried it for a week or so, I'm starting to understand like what it does for you. And it's really just about breath control and the like breath muscles that you can't really train in any other way, other than maybe like it's very similar. As you know, I'm a music major and I was a musician growing up. So it's very similar to like the different types of breath control stuff that we do as musicians. And this is just a different way of training that, but that helps to really open up the airways. It really helps to ensure that you're breathing like maximally, if that makes sense. It's one of those things that I don't think like, if you use this, it's not going to drastically change your life. It's not going to make you the most oxygen efficient person in the world. But when you're someone who is striving to be the best, when you're someone who's striving to have these really big athletic goals, like every little bit matters. And so I think that, these are those small itty bitty things that make the difference between someone who is achieving their goals and someone who isn't. So I would really recommend this to people. What else happened after the mechanic tryout? We had, this last week has been really boring. I've been super bored on campus. It's like spring break technically, but I don't go home because I'm like, I have a job, you know what I mean? I don't go to my mom's house anymore. I'm 24, right? So I'm just like staying here working, but like everyone's gone. And the only people I know here are Davenport people. And so it's just been super like boring on campus. And I've just been like going to work, coming home, playing video games, going to bed, which is not as cool as 12-year-old me would have thought it was. But things will kick back up next week with Davenport heading into our spring season. We had a few tournament changes coming up. We're not going to the old Capitol Open anymore. We're going to Huck Finn. So that'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot better teams there for us to play against. Anything else happen this week? Have I shown you guys my tattoo?